Today, I've got a very cool Elektron Model cycles and samples trick to show you. Freebeat. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Freebeat, where I post new music-related content every single day, so if that sounds good to you, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, let's get started. Feels kind of weird to say the intro live after using the Clash of Fools intro for like the past, what feels like a million months. Anyway, today I've got a pretty neat little trick to show you guys that you can do on the Elektron Model cycles, and of course, by extension, the Elektron Model samples as well. I actually discovered this live last night. I did a little random live stream jam thing and discovered that you can actually change tempos between individual patterns of a project with this Elektron sequencer. I originally had thought that an entire project had to be one tempo, but that is not the case. So I've got a blank project pulled up here, and we are on pattern 1. Let's just go ahead and put 4 on the floor here on our kick drum. There we go. And let's switch to the snare drum, or the snare drum track. On 2 and 4 there, super basic pattern, right? Same thing we always do. Hi-hat track, 8th notes. And we'll double it at the end there. There we go. So nice and basic. Now if I tap our metronome button, we can see that we are at 120 beats per minute. That's pretty standard. Let's go ahead now and copy our pattern into slot 2. So we press pattern, hold 1, press copy, pattern, hold 2, and hold paste. There we go. So now we have 2 patterns. Here's 1, and here comes number 2. They're exactly the same, right? But we can change the tempo of each individual pattern. So let's go to number 2, and let's change it down to, I don't know, how about 97 BPM? Sure. There we go. Cool. So now let's go back to pattern 1, and we will see that if we're still on the tempo screen here, it shows 120. Let's jump to pattern 2. How cool is that? Like, that's one of the neatest things I've seen in a budget groove box. It really allows you to be quite flexible in your compositions and your overall arrangement, because let's not forget that the model cycles and samples have 96 patterns, 6 banks of 16 patterns available per project. So you could do some really cool stuff. You could gradually slow down a piece over time. That's the idea that's sticking out to me right now, and that's what I want to try. So let's go ahead and do that. So our first pattern was 120. What I'm going to do is paste this pattern a whole bunch of times here. Number 4, there might be a faster way to do this, but I honestly don't know all of the shortcuts of the Elektron workflow because there's just so much baked into these devices. Same for the Digitact and the Digatone as well. Let's copy it 10 times. That should be enough, right? Okay, so now let's play with our pattern here and see what we can do. So we could have pattern 1, of course, at 120. We can have pattern 2. Let's reset the tempo now to, how about 115? We'll go down by increments of, actually, we've got 10 patterns. Yeah, we'll go increments of 5. That's fine. Pattern 3 will be at 110. Pattern 4 at 105. Pattern 5 at 100. You guys see what I'm doing here? Pattern 6 at 95. Pattern 7 at 90. Pattern 8 at 85, pattern 9 at 80, and finally pattern 10 all the way down to 75 BPM. So now I'm going to chain all of these patterns together. Let's see how smooth this actually sounds. So far, so good. I'm pretty impressed. Wow. Nice and smooth. We're back up as it repeats. But that's pretty powerful right there. However, I want to take this a step further. So I'm going to reload this project here, or delete it, I guess. And we will start once again with a blank project here. I want to make each pattern like 1 or 2 beats long, so we have a very fast slowdown. You might know this as a retardando in music. Let's go ahead and see if we can figure this out. So the first thing that I want to do is pick the length of the pattern. So I want this pattern to be 4 beats long. Yeah, that's pretty good. And let's go ahead here, get a kick drum on 1. There we go. We can see our pattern is only 4 beats long. Let's go ahead and get a hi-hat. Now this is going to be a little more in-depth, I'm realizing. There we go. So now what we can do is come up with our second pattern, which is going to be a snare drum on beat 1, and then the hi-hat on beat 3. Whoop, and I forgot to change the length of the pattern there. Down to 4, perfect. I want to bring up the volume of the snare drum. Cool. So now if we chain these together, well, that's not quite what I wanted. Let's try that again. What did I mess up? Oh, here we go. You have to change the change amount to 4 steps as well. And that tells it how many steps to change after. Cool, I forgot about that. All right. So now let's chain 1 and 2 together. There we go. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, yeah. What I want to also do really quick is on the second pattern, put a kick drum on beat 1 as well. So now let's chain them. There we go. Now it sounds the same as what we were just doing, but because it's only 4 beats long, this is going to allow that slowdown to be even smoother. So what we need to do is copy pattern 1 into all of the odd pattern slots and pattern number 2 into all of the even ones, because we're going to go down and change the tempos down the line and then chain them all together like we did earlier. So pattern number 1 is going to be copied and pasted here, pasted here, pasted here, and here. Remember, I'm just doing all the odd numbers, so 11. And we could go really in depth with this and use, up to all 96 of our patterns, but I don't think anyone wants to sit through that video. I'm impressed if you're still watching right now even. So now we're going to copy pattern 2 into all the all the even spots. That's right. So we're on number 8, number 10, paste it there, 12, 14, and 16. So now if we were to just chain all of these as is like this, it just sounds like the same pattern repeating all the way through. You can see it's cycling through our patterns very quickly. So now let's go ahead and change some tempos. So pattern 1, I want the tempo to be, we're going to start at 140. Pattern 2, we're going to go 135. Someone very loud just drove by. 130 on pattern 3. We're going to just do increments of 5 again. 120 on pattern 5. 115. 110. 105. Just going down the line here. 100. 95. 90. 85 right there, 80 right here, 75 on that one, 70 on this one. Looks like we're going to be able to end down here at 65. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and chain all of our patterns together here. Just like that. Alrighty, let's hit play and see how smooth this is. Wow, and then it restarts. But imagine the possibilities here, because remember, each one of those patterns is individual. We used all 16 patterns, so you could still play a melody over the top of that gradually just gets slower and slower and slower. It would obviously take some time, but the point is that you could do it. The possibility does exist within the Elektron model cycles and model samples, and I think that is a killer feature. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I hope you learned something. If so, be sure to leave a like on this video. If not, you can leave a dislike. That's okay too. Doesn't hurt my feelings. Just makes me try that much harder next time. Either way, be sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Thank you so very much for being here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.